careful I wasn't going to give you a blaster, Leia. You're 10 years old.
But you won't always be.
Well, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of getting sick of reviewing this show. So much so that I couldn't even be bothered to review episode 5, which, if you're wondering what I thought, was an absolute cesspool of crap filled with some of the dumbest writing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Shanae getting stuck with a lightsaber not just once, but twice and still surviving, and both times by Darth Vader no less. I mean, maybe you could argue that the powers of the dark side helped her, but she didn't exactly have that when she was 10 years old now, did she? But now we're here to episode 6, the final nail in the coffin to what could have been an awesome show. Alas, this episode sucked just as much as the rest, and I give it, as well as the entire series, a 2 out of 5. It was all retarded. The only reason I don't give it a lower score is because there were a few times when Ewan McGregor put in the work with his acting, as well as a few cool lightsaber moments. Oh, and I'd say Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen is a pretty honorable mention. I mean, this was one of the few people who looked like they were actually trying in the show. Certainly more than Moses Ingram. But anything good that came out of the show was completely washed away with horrible writing, focused on bastardizing beloved characters in the pursuit of identity politics. So what's so bad about episode 6? Let's just go through the list.
And you will pay attention to my lead.
Why? What?
Shanae making her way to Tatooine despite not having a ship, as well as having a giant burned out lightsaber hole through her guts. The Empire forgetting they have TIE fighters to attack the rebels. This douchebag thinking he has any right whatsoever to stop Kenobi from talking to Leia. Uncle Owen getting cucked by his own wife. And where do I even begin with the second Obi-Wan versus Vader fight? And then it got even more stupid with Obi-Wan fantasizing about little Leia, giving him the ultimate power-up into an earthbender. I also heard that the whole slashing off of Vader's helmet was just a cheap knockoff of what they did in one of the Clone Wars episodes. I never watched those, so I don't know, but really everything Disney does is nothing more than a cheap copy and paste of what has been done better in the past. Honestly, when I saw Anakin speaking through the helmet and hearing a mixture of his voice and Darth Vader's, it kinda got me. And then seeing Obi-Wan call out to his old friend in desperation, I mean, I wanted to like this scene. I really did. It showed an image of what the series could have been, and it reminded me of all the time they spent together in the prequels. And then the most idiotic thing I've ever seen happened with Obi-Wan, having Darth Vader dead to rights, and then he just walks away. Are you serious? Are you serious? I mean, I know he's injured and all, but a few minutes in a Bacta tank and he'll be as good as new. This is a Sith Lord, disciple of the evil Emperor. He started off his dark journey killing hundreds of innocent children, and he will go on to kill thousands if not millions more, and you're just going to let him walk? I mean, what? I could forgive letting him go on Mustafar because, I mean, he had no limbs, and he was burning alive, but why is he letting him live now? Oh, that's right, because this is a prequel story and they were stupid enough to write themselves into a hole because they had to jingle them keys in front of our face with another flashy lightsaber battle. Not to mention they have to let the past die and kill it if they have to, so they needed to find a way to completely destroy Obi-Wan's character. We then find ourselves back on Tatooine, where Obi-Wan has teleported back just in time to see Shanae surrender Luke, because it turns out she was just misunderstood. She lived a life of evil, chopping off the hands of innocent people, sentencing who knows how many Jedis to death, but she asks Obi-Wan if she's become like Vader, and he says,
No. You've chosen not to.
Why? Well, because she's a strong female person of color, and since this is really her show, having her show one single act of mercy is enough to redeem a lifetime of murder and carnage. And she's allowed to go free, and we have our own spin-off series to look forward to. Oh, and as one final giant middle finger to all of us, Qui-Gon Jinn shows up for 5 seconds right as the show is ending. I know there's a lot more to get into, but my god, I've had enough. This show is just such a piece of crap, and it was a chore finding positives to look for. If you liked it, then that's great, but from my perspective, it comes across lazy and poorly written. And even beyond that, it just feels like there's such a hatred behind the script, as if the showrunners needed to do everything in their power not to give us what they know we wanted, trying desperately to force new and annoying characters down our throats while shitting all over the ones we actually care about. It has all the identity politics checked off with quote-unquote strong female characters, diversity, and all the other crap, but it completely hijacks the story, giving the opposite of what fans wanted. No one cares about Shanae. She's crap. We wanted to see intertwining stories of Vader killing the remnants of Anakin and Obi-Wan training with a Force ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. What we instead got was a giant force-filled turd, and anyone who refuses to stuff it down their throat is branded as toxic and racist. Obi-Wan is a retarded dumpster fire of a show that only serves to pander to new consumers who will forget about it whenever the next new thing comes along, while simultaneously alienating the hardcore customer fan base even further than it's already been. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great freaking day.